Hello, and in this week's video, I want to talk about the myth of work-life balance. If you haven't met me before, my name's Emma Paulette. I'm a personal trainer, health coach, yoga teacher, and Reiki master. And I'm on a mission to help women get healthy and feel amazing, the best that they possibly can feel, using both fitness and wellness and, of course, spiritual health as well. So as I said in this week's video, I really want to talk about work-life balance, and is it a myth or is it possible? And I want to give you 5 little tips to help you get as close to work-life balance as possible. In my opinion, it's actually impossible to have work-life balance. I feel like it's, always going to be the case that sometimes work has to take preference, and sometimes the rest of your life has to take preference. And that's just the way it is. So if we keep striving for work-life balance, we're probably just running up a hill that's never going to end, right? So yes, it's lovely when everything does flow. And I think we've all been in that time of our lives and that experience where things just keep flowing for us for a little while, and that's fantastic. But I don't know if there's like specific steps you can take to create work-life balance, because things happen at work that are completely out of your control. Things happen in your life that are completely out of your control. So you're not able to, to make sure that everything's balanced all the time. But there are things you can do to make things as balanced as possible, within those paradigms. I think the other thing to remember is, for some people, and I'm one of these people, their work kind of is their life. Like, what I teach in my business is what I live. So it's really hard for me to separate work and life sometimes. And if I was trying to achieve work-life balance all the time, it would feel a bit weird. So there's that whole element as well. So as I said, in this video, I want to talk about a few different ways that you can try and work towards work-life balance, while understanding that it's probably actually never possible. So the first tip I have for you on this is to make your self-care your top priority as often as you can. As I said, sometimes work gets in the way, sometimes your family has to be your priority. But when there's not other things going on in your life, make your health and your self-care your top priority. The only way you're going to give the best of yourself at work, the best of yourself at home, the best of yourself to your family and friends is if you are healthy. And to be healthy, you need to take care of yourself. So eat as well as you can most of the time. Exercise most days, but also do those other nourishing self-care practices. It might be journaling, it might be meditation, it might be getting out in nature, it might be pulling oracle cards, it might be dressing up and going out with friends. Whatever it is for you, make sure that this stuff's scheduled in. And so in my group that I have, which is a morning exercise group, I've just added an hour a week where we're going to get together on Zoom and prepare food for the week, because we're all busy and we haven't been able to prioritize our food. So this is a way of scheduling it in to make sure it actually happens, so that our bodies are being fueled as well as possible, so that we're able to take on everything that happens. So please put your self-care really high on your priority list. Now, the second thing you need to do to try and get a bit of balance between work and life is to establish boundaries. And that has a lot to do with the self-care that I was just talking about. If you don't have boundaries, you don't have time to do that sort of self-care. And this is definitely where I've gotten in trouble in past careers, is where I keep giving so much of my time to the workplace that I'm too tired and too emotionally exhausted to actually look after myself when I'm not out, when I'm not at work. So really set some boundaries, and that's hard. Boundaries really come from a sense of self-worth and self-esteem. And when you haven't been feeling that way, and potentially you've been working too hard at work, you're too tired, you're not looking after yourself, you're losing your self-esteem. I understand that's really, really hard. So it's a chicken and the egg thing with self-care and boundaries. You know, you've got to start doing the self-care to have the self-worth to create the boundaries. You need the boundaries to create time for the self-care so you can build the self-worth. I understand. But that's where, you know, creating practices like my Magic Mornings program is really great, because it gives you a framework of something you can do on a regular basis that builds and builds and builds until you've got that self-worth and that self-esteem that you can say no to things much more easily. So I'll put a link to my Magic Mornings program in the comments, and you know, it might be something that you can start to help you build some boundaries. This third tip's really a kind of time management tip, but I think it's really helpful, and that is to batch similar activities and do them together. So whether that's when you're at work or when you're at home, and maybe both, try and find ways to create space for doing similar tasks at the same time, or, you know, one after the other. Like, for instance, if you've got paperwork that you need to do all of that at the same time rather than one bit at a time. You know, you might need to pull out your stapler and your hole punch and that kind of thing. Do everything that needs the stapler and the hole punch at the same time. Probably a bad example, but you know what I'm saying, right? Just saves you a little bit of time, and it makes your time more efficient. When you've got more efficiency, you're able to have more time for that self-care. So it's a really great tip, is to batch your similar activities. The fourth thing is to ask for help. Whether you're at work with colleagues or at home with your family, or even asking for help from a coach or a therapist or some kind of support helper sort of person. You deserve to have help from time to time. So maybe not every single day of the week or every single year, but from time to time, it's worth asking for help. And sometimes it's worth investing in someone to help you, like me, for instance, as your coach, to help you sort out the boundaries, help you sort out the self-help and self-care practices that you want to do. Look at how you can batch things and do things together so that you've got more efficiencies. So sometimes it's okay to ask for help, and it'll help you just move forward and create more balance in your life in a way that you never would have expected. And my last tip today to help you with work-life balance, if that's even possible, is to really find out what your purpose is and to really do what lights you up. Now, for some people, their work is their purpose, and that's what lights them up, and that's what gets them out of bed in the morning. But if you're in a career that you don't actually love and you're feeling a bit uncomfortable about looking for something else, the other thing you can do is use the money you get from your career to create your purpose, whether that's creating a business, or it means that you've got more time to go paddle boarding, or whatever that is. You need to figure out what the purpose is first, so that then you can be really conscious of it. Gives you a reason to get up in the morning, gives you a reason to go to work, gives you a reason to be happy when you're at work, because there's a reason for you being there. So really think about your purpose. Why are you here? And just know that your purpose can change over time. It doesn't have to be one thing for the rest of your life, but it might be something that's your purpose right now. What gets you out of bed at the moment? Is it your work, or is your work creating something for you so that you can do your purpose on the weekends, for example? So think about that for yourself. Do you have a purpose? So they're my 5 tips for kind of creating work-life balance, because I'm not sure that you actually can. But as I said, I'm here as a coach for you if you need one. My job as your health coach is to help you with your food so that you're feeling, fueled to get up and go to work and feel like you're getting stuff done. I'm also here to help you with self-care, and I'm also here to help you with working out what your purpose is. So if you're interested in joining my 6-month health coaching program, I have spaces available, and you can click on the link to find out more. The program's called Love Yourself to Health, and I would love to have you come and join me. So thank you so much for watching this week's video, and I look forward to seeing you next time.